Hello and welcome to Off the Record TV. I'm Frankie Lane.
And I'm Stephanie Baer. This week we have a feature on a New York-based tropical rock band by the name of
Swaai Boys.
Their music is inspired by passions for exploration and adventure.
That's right, Steph. They capture sounds from all over the world and inject an unbelievable exotic flavor into their music.
Well, let's check out Swaai Boys and their fresh track, Dana of Dender.
Talking about swing, listen, it's like swing, it's old school, it's like, you know, Beach Boyish, it's like unbelievable.
Yes,
I love the vocals too.
Yeah,
these guys got great vocals. But
I loved it. It was a great feel. You can be at a party, you could be dancing, you could be lounging.
You could be a dance instructor.
It's an absolute wonderful
your kids.
sound.
You can do a lot of stuff with this song.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We have Swaai Boys on the line, and we're ready to do an interview. So let's do this. Welcome, Swaai Boys. Thank you so much for joining us on Off the Record TV. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Frankie Lane.
And we are so excited to hear from you.
Thanks, good to hear.
Well, what do we got? We got Andrew and Caleb, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Yep, Andrew, Caleb over here.
All right, and from what I understand, guys, this is your first time on Skype. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
So we can call you Skype virgins then? Is this what we're
Yeah,
going?
it's pretty great. I think we might start using it.
It's an exciting
because you know what? I love that actually. That's a cool deal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a cool deal.
Well, give us the story behind your music and explain your roles within your band.
Okay, well, I'm Andrew. I sing and I play guitar. I write the music, and this is Caleb over here.
I'm Caleb. I play lead guitar, I sing backup vocals, and I do a lot of our field recording that we use in the music. We have a couple people who aren't with us. We have a great drummer named Jose, and another great drummer who does percussion, and he does the sound effects live, so he does a lot of kind of sample work. His name is Asher, who's my brother, actually.
Wow.
And we have a bassist, really amazing bassist, who plays with us most of the time, named Jack Barracuda.
Yeah.
Wow, Barracuda.
I like that. Great.
Cool.
Well,
So this is actual band, guys? I mean, full-time? These are full-time guys? Or do you ad-lib every now and then, pretty much?
They'll play with us whenever we make them. They don't, go as like insane about all the shirts and the field recording stuff as we do, but they're all phenomenal musicians, and they humor us and they like our songs, so we count them as part of the band.
We sort of, depending on the expedition, we'll use a certain amount of, or certain type of member for the live show.
It's like Ocean's 11. You got to pick your specific task.
I get it. Your SWAT team.
Each show's an expedition.
So the thing is, well, what do you mean you make them do it? Like, what is that? Like, I don't understand. You make them do it? Like, how?
Oh, they like it. They
like
like
an offer they can't refuse, or like what?
Oh, we just don't tell them we're going to jump into a volcano today. That's all, right?
We pride in Hawaiian shirts and cool
exotic fruits
and jewels.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Well, I heard that you guys just returned from Morocco and South Africa game reserves, and you're working on a new record, new album called Hot Sand. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Definitely. You want to talk about South Africa?
Yeah, so they were separate trips. I went to South Africa we're in the Explorers Club right now, our headquarters in New York City. And I went to South Africa with a member here who's this really badass old South African guy. And we went. Brian Gaisford is his name. He owns Hemingway Safaris, an African art gallery here in New York. And he's an awesome dude. And we went and we tracked. We did a walking safari, in South Africa and the game reserves there.
That's amazing.
So it was mostly walking, but we also had some really cool Land Rovers with us. So I brought the field recorder and did some field recordings of the motor of the Land Rover, as well as some of the sounds at night while I was sleeping in a tent. It was pretty great.
Tracking lions?
Yeah, we were tracking lions
That's
and rhino
amazing.
by foot, and it was the summer, so it was like 106 degrees.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool experience.
That
for sure.
that sounds like
You
an
know,
amazing
and I'll
experience.
tell you, that's something phenomenal because a lot of people obviously go on vacation, taking
Yeah.
pictures. There's pictures all over, but this is so phenomenal, so off the hook, so left field, so like
Capture
wild
the
and
sound.
crazy that it's so original that you're not capturing photogenic, you're capturing audio. Listen, guys, you're on to something like big time. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I gotta tell you, unbelievable. So now,
It's all about creating like story that goes with the songs. You know, and the
Yeah.
better job we can do of bringing somebody into the world we're trying to imagine while we're playing, you know,
Right.
the cooler we can experience everyone's
so
having.
totally cool.
Yeah.
Totally cool. Now, technically, is it Andrew or Caleb? How do you guys? What equipment do you go out with? Is it a 2-track? Is it a laptop? Like,
So I work. My day job is I make sounds for movies. I work at a branch of Warner Brothers in the city, and we do a lot of sounds for movies. So we have a lot of tools lying around that I get to use.
With the helicopter sounds from Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, so it's a lot crazy
That's
stuff
so
from our
cool.
library. We have some really cool old sounds from old movies, which is sweet. But when we go out into the field, usually we're using digital recorders usually. So I take out a Sony PCM, which is it's stereo, but it can do quad, and depending on what microphone you bring to attach with it, you can get a lot out of it. But my favorite is like a Shep's pair. That's this little XY pair of microphones that lives in like a bug bubble.
Yeah.
And that's a really amazing sound stage. It sounds really wide. It really
So
brings you in.
So I know that you go on many exciting adventures, and I just want to know what's one of your favorites, and what music did you or what sound did you collect from that adventure?
Morocco was cool because I went to go check out like some music that's going on there. I was really trying to find Nawa musicians to hear their stuff, and they play at little bars all over Morocco, particularly in Essaouira, which is on the coast. It's like near surf spots, and it's just an amazing town with these huge pine trees and these amazing musicians. And they use a type of guitar that has kind of a lower register, and these amazing clacky percussion instruments that I forget the name of, but we got some.
Yeah.
We'd use them on some tracks.
Awesome.
And that was an amazing trip, kind of rolling around to
Right.
bars and finding music like
do
that.
you sort of case the town or city that you're in for different kind of, maybe walk into a music store and see what kind of percussive stuff they have, maybe something different? Is that what you guys do to collect
Absolutely.
those?
Yeah. We try to talk to people in music stores, see what they have to sell, see what kind of stuff is getting used in the local bands. That was a really cool part of the trip for sure.
Yeah, the whole point of the band is really to bring sound to an expedition or exploration. So, I mean, you know, originally when I started writing songs for the band, it would be, you know, the lyrics and the chords would try and conjure up some type of story about exploration. And then when Caleb came along, it added another component of like actual sound of the area. But on top of that, we try and use, like, we don't use a snare in our band. Like the drummer uses a djembe instead.
I noticed
our
that.
guitars are always, we turn them down really, really low. There's no
There's a lot
fuzz
of
on them.
sound.
So it's like more woody. And like, I think when we go into recording, it's like, the main point is like, could we find this instrument lying in the middle of the Sahara or the jungle or something?
Right,
And
right.
if it's too technical or it's too modern or something, we may not use it, you know? So all of these different components come together to make what we think is a pretty unique
Yeah.
sound. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that means we're always trying to check out what sounds come from the places we're in. What instruments do they use that they get there, and how does that inform their music?
Right, and it's very natural. I mean, it's really natural what you guys create as sounds, as like you were just talking about. It's very, very creative. I mean, that is very
It's
creative.
a great sound.
Very, very creative.
Thank you.
Thanks for sure.
You know what,
I can
guys?
dance to it. I can hang out to it. I can, you know,
It's definitely,
Yeah.
I mean,
There's-
and I love the vocals. The vocals are amazing, especially at the end of the song. There was that low voice. Who does that?
That's Caleb.
Listen, I love that. And then when it came to the bridge part, those vocals were so, you know what, so natural sounding, so earthy. Let me put it this way, because you guys are very earthy. I mean, you walk into a place, you don't know what you're going to do. I'm just trying to visualize this. You walk in to to a new city or a town. You walk into the music stores, you walk into nightclubs or whatever's happening there, and you're collecting, hey, the music guy, there's these things that sound like clacky, hey, I love that. Then you go to the nightclub and you hear a different sound, and you're basically collecting sounds and then going out in the field and doing it. That is like exploration at its finest.
Thank you.
Exploration at its finest. And my next question, Steph, Danny Lanois from Hamilton, Ontario, the producer. I understand that you gentlemen love Danny Lanois and Brian Eno, and now I see where you guys are coming from, because I saw Danny do this 30 years ago.
I bet.
30 years ago, and you guys aren't even 30 yet, and you guys are already doing this.
No, I mean, that guy's a true wizard. He's really produced a lot of my favorite records, and
such as Caleb. What would be your favorite Danny Lanois record?
One of my personal favorites is definitely the Apollo Soundscapes, Soundtracks and Atmospheres record that he made with Brian Eno. That was made as a score for, I think, a movie that became For All Mankind, which is just footage of the Apollo lunar mission and their music. And I just am blown away by the kind of balance they strike between really interesting, gripping music and really atmospheric, spacey, kind of almost just sound effect work that goes into it.
Which is very movie oriented, and it's weird because I didn't know you worked at Warner Brothers doing movies and whatnot. Yeah. So this is where I'm just really getting to know you guys and how it started from the beginning. Now, can you just give us a quick spiel from the beginning to where you're at right now and how you got there?
I think that's you.
Yeah, so I grew up around actually the Explorers Club here in New York City, and I don't know, there was a growing interest in
Indiana Jones
and exploration and like early B movies and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Tintin, yeah, Tintin for sure. And yeah, I went on this trip with Jose, our drummer. We went to Tarifa, which is the southernmost town in Spain. It's like a surf town. And I started to record some tracks on a cassette and eventually put out an EP that was just called like Swaai Boys. And we're doing some of those songs again too, and like because it was just done in my bedroom.
Right.
And after that, it was like, okay, let's play live.
And a band,
and we put a band together, and then we recorded an EP with Oliver at his old location in Brooklyn.
Which is when we made Camilla, which is maybe one song that you heard also.
Yeah. So from the first EP was, I think it might still be online, as In the Sahara Sun. And then after that, then we did the EP Meet the Mysterious Swaai Boys.
And that's when we added bass and big time drum, like a real drum kit.
Yeah.
And then moving towards the new record, we started working on the Hot Sands project, and that's when we really started adding more percussion, started being more creative with the sound effect stuff. We had started using those on the first EP to sort of set the mood. So there's basically jungle sounds that kind of run through that entire piece of work, and then there's like a little Jeep montage that we made for the one thing, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. So like both of those EPs were kind of all over the place in terms of the expedition. So it was like we went to for example, the Meet the Mysterious Swaai Boys, we were in the desert.
Yeah.
Then we were all over the world. I think the Jeep goes from the desert to the jungle to like
Hong Kong.
To Hong Kong, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then after that we
then we started getting really into the more kind of, like you're saying, the kind of cinematic aspects of it. We really got interested in creating environments and worlds where people live in, and that's where some of those kind of noisier pieces come from.
Right.
We started doing these little stories and trying to use sound effects and ambient sound to tell those stories, and that became a focus for a little while as we were moving into writing and recording the songs for Hot Sand, which is sort of just still an ongoing project.
Right. So that I'd have to call, that's a huge edge, because just like in any movies, I mean, the soundtrack to a movie, I mean, it's all up to the soundtrack. You guys have an edge, definitely, because you know what, you're creating that, that audio for the visual, which is probably the most important thing in the whole thing. I mean, if you watch a movie, you come away with it. You know what? And if you take, I saw this thing on 2020. If you take the music away from a motion picture, like there's no vibe. I mean, there's absolutely no. It's like dead.
Yeah.
You know
You
what
can
I'm
watch a
saying?
horror movie without being scared at all.
Exactly.
And she loves horror movies, right? Right, Steph? She loves horror
I
movies.
don't. I'm
Yes, you
scared
do.
of them.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But you have another question. Steph,
Yeah.
right? What do you
Well,
got?
this is a question for Andrew, because you bring up the Explorers Club many times, and we really want to know what it's all about. We know it's a home for maybe like some explorers and scientists, but give us the insight.
Yeah, so I mean, we're here right now. I work here on a daily basis.
Where are we sitting? We're sitting in the trophy room?
We're sitting in the
Oh,
the
you're there
trophy
now.
room.
They're there now.
They are now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's where
wow.
they are right now.
We're sitting next to a stuffed cheetah.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. There's like a lion,
Look at that,
a
look.
tiger up there. You can see it.
Well, that's inspiration.
Yeah, so basically, we've been in this place forever. The club was founded in 1904, and it's basically a nonprofit organization that every explorer or scientist that you can think of has been a member, basically. Like Theodore Roosevelt was a member, Charles Lindbergh, even James Cameron, even today, like Wade Davis is an awesome explorer. He's a member here.
They have a flag. There's an Explorers Club flag, and they any expedition that they're involved in some way, they send a flag on. Do you want us to say a little more about that?
Yeah, we have like 222 flags, some of which are retired. But basically, if you become a member, you can apply to take the flag on expedition. And so say you're retracing an African expedition that was done by Theodore Roosevelt, you can potentially take a flag that Theodore Roosevelt carried into the field. So it's like a moving artifact. Like, for example, James Cameron, who's a member, he took an Explorers Club flag to the bottom of the Marianas Trench in 2012. He chose it because it had been to the top of Everest. So it's one of the only items that's been to the top of the world and the bottom of the world. And yeah, and I mean, this place is just filled with artifacts.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, flags have gone to the moon, you know.
Yeah, it was on Apollo 11. Every Apollo mission carried a flag.
Wow.
Actually, there was an Apollo on Apollo 13. The Jim Lovell took a flag, and we still have that here because it wasn't taken out of the pouch because they never made it to the moon. So
wow,
they got back.
They got back. Yeah,
that's phenomenal. I'm telling you, just the whole thing is just crazy. I mean, it's just so far out there, and you're listening to it, Steph. I mean, honestly, is there anything you guys want to plug? Like, name a couple of your songs that you really feel like, you're attached to the song. They're special.
Sure. I mean, we love our newest song is called Dane of Dendor, and that premiered on Consequence of Sound, which was great, and that's a song that came together over a long time and had a cool story behind it that involved our percussionist and his unfortunate love affair with the curator at the Metropolitan Museum.
Yeah. And that's the one that features Caleb's low voice. Actually, the bogus papyrus was what he says.
Right.
Which has become the name of an EP that's going to come out before the album.
Right. So we have an EP that's coming out. It's probably like 5 songs or something. It's called Bogus Papyrus. And then each song has a reference number to it. Like if you were to go into a library or the archives here, you would find the reference number for the song. So cool. So this is called...
I think it was Ref HS002 is Dana.
Yeah, I know. You know what?
007.
I noticed that on the website. I didn't understand what that was, but now I'm getting it now. Totally. I'm totally getting it now.
It's all very confusing.
It's pretty complicated.
No, but you know what? It's not confusing, but it's cool after you know what it's all about. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I hope you get sucked into the story of
it. I mean, also the idea is like, so each song has HS attached to it. So if we were to do another album that was about like the jungle, it might say JG or something. So right, exactly. So as we move forward, hopefully we can continue to add desert tracks to the
expand the line.
Right, and that's the thing. So whereas the first EPs where we were all over the place, each album, hopefully moving forward, will be about a specific environment.
Right. So Hot Sand is all about the desert and coasts. Maybe beaches a little bit, but mostly the Sahara and just really hot places.
So every song you hear will be contextually about the desert, or it will sound like the desert, or it will sound like heat or sand or something. And it will have that reference number attached to it.
That's great. Coming from a dance instructor's point of view, this music is amazing for my children because I can give them so many different sounds and ask them to, like, you know, tell me what this is or create a dance with this. So I'm really excited to learn more and hear more of what you
no, that's what we were talking about. We were listening to the songs. She goes, oh God, you know what, I could create such a dance routine with this, because again, and it's also actually a learning experience. This is the beauty of it. It's a learning experience of sound, especially for kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you guys are exploring, because it's not like, okay, you got drums, bass, guitar, keyboards. It's beyond that. I mean,
way beyond.
You're making music with your environment. I mean, this is the way I'm looking at this.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We draw from the environment or the story instead of making the music and then putting a story on top of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, there are some pop songs on it, and those are fun to play, especially live. But then at the same time, we'll have a song like Solar Vortex or something, which is just
hot sound.
It's just the sound of the sun.
Right. That's crazy.
Exactly, to try and create the environment. Yeah.
Wow, that's
And actually, on
that's
the new
crazy.
EP, there's a song called Hot Spots, which is actually we've put Solar Vortex
inside the
song because it wasn't quite hot enough. So we were like, let's just throw the sun inside of this and see if we can see if it translates.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean,
Swaai
Boys right there. I mean, unbelievable. Listen, guys, we really want to thank you for joining us today at Off the Record TV.
Thank you so
much. And you know what? Listen, good luck to you guys. And actually, I'm going to be calling you guys because I want to actually produce one of your tracks. I have a lot of great ideas, I'm telling you, and I think you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. So, but I got to tell you,
hopefully a little both.
You know what? I got a feeling you're gonna love it because I hear something what you guys are doing, especially all that stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I just have some ideas that I think we're really gonna. I'm understanding where you're coming from. I totally understand where you're coming from. But again, guys, there we have it, Steph.
Swaai Boys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much
all right,
for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
Have a good day. Bye. It was such a pleasure speaking with Swaai Boys today and learning more about the Band of Explorers.
Thank you for joining us on Off the Record TV. I'm Frankie Lane.
And I'm Stephanie Bear.
Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or come and check us out at
offtherecordtv.org. Stay tuned to hear more from our featured band, Swaai Boys. Learn about where you can hear their music and how you can support the band.
Thank you for watching. Have a great day. God bless.
Hey Swaai Boys, we want to know how to support your group, so please give us all your social media and information on how we can find you.
Of course, yeah. You can definitely, we'd love you to stop by our website, which is swaaiboys.us. You can also find us on Facebook, where we're just Swaai Boys.
Yeah, and we're on Bandcamp, swaaiboys.bandcamp.com, and also Swaai Boys Instagram. And definitely check out the website. You can follow weather reports and go find out all sorts of really cool things.
All right, cool, guys. Listen, Swaai Boys.
Swaai Boys.